My name is Yreina D. Cervántez, and I'm going to talk about my watercolor, Big Baby Balam. Big Baby Balam, or Big Baby Jaguar, is a self-portrait inspired by ancient Olmec, Teotihuacan, and Mesoamerican cultural symbols and glyphs, invoking the spirits and entities that relate to the powers of water, lightning, regeneration, the great jaguar, nahual, and maize, or corn, the sustenance of the ancestors. El maíz, cultivated in the Valle de Oaxaca in Mexico over 8,000 years ago, is considered sacred by indigenous peoples in Mesoamerica and throughout much of the Americas, and continues to be a fundamental source of subsistence. This work is also a response to the detrimental impact of NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, and in particular, its effect in Mexico. Lamentably, this destructive policy precipitated the desecration and loss of lands and resources, the displacement of impoverished farmers, and the contamination and devastation of naturally cultivated maize by GMO strains of corn, which for me is a metaphor for colonization. I'm depicted here as a tlacuila, the Nahuatl term for artist, painter, scribe. I am wearing a huipil or top with the pattern of the jaguar pelt, and I bear the glyphs of the Balam, jaguar, and scribe on my hand. So a little bit about this piece, a little bit more. This is for me, it was really appropriate that this piece was done in watercolor because the work is really, again, about all of those different entities, those powerful entities and elements that are part of us as well: water, lightning, rain, maize. And this is a piece that was took a while in the making. I worked on it at different periods of time, over a long period of time actually, and it changed and transformed many different times. Um, the the image around the mouth is an image from the baby jaguar sculptures, the Olmec baby jaguar sculptures, and I think for much of my work, when I looked at some of those past and present arts by indigenous peoples of the Americas and of Mesoamerica, they really spoke to me in a particular way. When I looked at those stone sculptures, when I looked at those máscaras, they really connected with me, I think, in a very powerful way. So this work again is like, as I said, it's like a metaphor also for me in terms of like what was happening with NAFTA, how it impacted people, especially in Mexico, and also the idea that the spirituality that we have is also a form of resistance. So I think that the work that I've been doing over these many years really couldn't have been done without being in a community of other Chicanas and Chicanos, but in particular the women. So it's through that kind of reciprocity and dialogue and learning as we go that I felt very supported, and I felt that there was a lot of learning that took place, and especially important because in our spaces, you know, it was taking place in community, and many times those conversations didn't take place in other spaces. And so that was very important. So again, this piece is about all those different elements, how we are part of that, you know, how the water is such a powerful element and a force in terms of just who we are, and also in terms of nurturing and creating and all living things. Also, when I'm thinking about so the symbols on the mask are related to water, rain, lightning, and sometimes people think of it of a mask in Western terms. I'm not thinking of this mask in terms of like masking or pretending or hiding or covering. For me, it's about becoming one with. So I think that when you look at many times masks of indigenous people or different indigenous cultures, it's really not about pretending. It's about becoming and transforming and being connected to all of those different elements.